People have talked about the cashless society and the dangers to our freedoms and privacy. But in fact, they had to go to a cashless society in order to keep up, because they're just making up money. Constantly, money is being made up out of thin air, and instead of being able to, or having to go ahead and print up $1 billion or $1 trillion, they just type it on a computer screen. How do you get $1 trillion in debt, $10 trillion in debt? Does someone actually print up $1 trillion and loan it to them? No. It just gave someone an IOU, Federal Reserve or China or whoever, and $1 trillion was typed into the account, and then they have $1 trillion. And then they don't even pay for the money. They make up this money to fund the war that they want to do for their own purposes. But then they tack the bill onto the government and do not even have to pay it back. And then they tax the citizens, apparently, to try to offset some of the debt, which really they don't need anyway, because they're just making the money up in the first place. And they don't even live in the conditions of the people that they rule. The president is a millionaire just off of his time in presidency. Yet, the average citizen is working just to try to pay bills, when really they have an infinite potential for money to be had. They're just making money up already. They could just type money into everyone's accounts. Everyone can be multimillionaires. The question may come, well, if everyone had an infinite access to money, they'll just buy up everything and hoard. Well, that means that's something that we need to work on. Whether someone has $1 million or $5, you can only eat so much. Even if you try to eat as much as you possibly can stuff into yourself, there's only so much you can eat. And besides trying to stuff yourself, there's only so much that you need to eat. So no matter how much money you have, the needs of the individual to survive and to live do not go up, do not increase. Perhaps the ability to fulfill those needs may increase. But after a certain point, a person doesn't need to buy food or water or whatever. We believe that these people in government are some kind of way divine. All they are people, just like us, who have put themselves in a position of saying we have rights and privileges that you don't have. So then they get in a position calling themselves government, and they do things that they then don't take responsibility for. It goes to some fake ephemeral organization called government or corporation nowadays. When the individual person benefits, the wars that they start, individual people own the companies that make the war machine and make the profits. But then the basis of making a war, they blame it on government when they're the ones that did it. And the people that fight the war are regular people that they send out to fight. It makes no sense that we allow this to happen. There's no reason for us to continue to allow this to happen.